This short video is about image registration using QGIS following our Lab 4 handout instructions. Now, in order to register an image, we have to first establish a control, some layer that has an Earth coordinate system on it. And that can be a vector layer or a raster layer. In this case, following our instructions, we're first using a vector layer as our control. And our control layer is the Big Mar roads. So we open that and on our canvas. We also then examine the coordinate system of this, so we know what Earth coordinate system we're registering to. The next step is in raster, to go to Georeferencer, to use the Georeferencer plugin. And if you don't have that plugin, you want to get it and install that plugin from the QGIS. So we're using the Georeferencer. That brings up another window where our target layer will be placed and our ground control points will be located. And if you don't see that the GCP table, you want to go to View, Panels, and make sure that's turned on so that your GCP table, your ground control points are shown. So now we're going to add our target layer, or the layer that we wish to add the Earth coordinate system to, where we wish to transform or register. And that's SCAND in the Lab 4 subdirectory. And now the QGIS is saying, this is an unregistered image. Do you want me to park some coordinates on it? We don't. We want our image registration process to give it the Earth coordinates. So we just cancel. And we now have an image available for us. And we're going to pick points on this image that correspond with our control. And we always pick the target, then the control. So we're going to pick this intersection and then match it with the corresponding intersection here. Then we're going to pick an intersection here and match it with the corresponding point here. And it's a series of steps that are using this pick control point, and we're zooming in between it. So we select the most accurate location. So my first step here to start my process is zoom right in on a road intersection, and that's what we're using for this, is road intersection. And I'm using my ground control picking tool, and I'm going to pick this point, and it's saying, okay, I got that point picked. Now, where do you want the corresponding control layer from? Do you want to fill it in from a table or from some GPS data, or from your map canvas? And in our case, we're going to do map canvas. Now, I'm going to have to do this twice because I'll show you why. Because when I flip over to the map canvas, I'm now at a very, very small scale, and I would be very approximate if I picked that point there at that scale. So I'm going to zoom right in so I'm on the right place. Now I've lost my cursor, so I have to go back to my georeferencer window and pick that from map window a second time. So I get my cursor back, my picking cursor back. Now I find the exact road intersection, fills the coordinates in from that Earth coordinate system based control layer, and we say then okay, so it starts filling that table in. And we'll be selecting, and now we'll be selecting other points from this on this image, and we'll want to be picking points around the center as well distributed as we can. So there should be an equal number of points here, and over here, and over here, and over here. Well, we're going to have a problem because of the lake and the lack of roads, but we'll do our best by picking point here, point here, here, and maybe over here. To start our process. So now I've picked my control points across the picture, and they're well distributed. And you can see that there's some of them that are contributing a little more to the solution than others. My overall, because I went through the process here of setting the transformation settings, and I gave it an output, gave it the proper coordinate system that matches my Big Mar. I've made sure that it was the right number, UTM 15 at 83, and I don't create a world file, and I went up and hit the green and processed and wound up with the error of 0.8. Now you can see that 0.2 doesn't seem to contribute well to the overall, so I might want to consider deleting, and this is how you remove a point, is that you can remove it by unchecking it, all right? and now it improved it to 7.5, and I could actually remove that totally from the process, or I could recenter it. And why don't I go through the process of recentering it, because it really would help if I had a point in this location. So I'm going to move into that location very carefully to select a point, and I'm using my point selection tool here to be in the center of that intersection, those two intersections. And then from the map canvas, I want to go to that same location, and this is the process we were just going through. I want to zoom, where's my plus zoom? And I want to zoom in on that same location, and I've got to pick my map, from the map canvas again. I got to get my cursor back, and then I'm going to try and recenter that spot. Okay, so now maybe I've got a better, okay, so now I've got it down to 9, and my overall is 7.9, so that's probably okay for my my registration process. But you're getting the idea of how you're picking the points, picking them in the center, and trying to get the lowest overall number with well-distributed points. So now I'm going to go about completing this. I've got my transformation parameter set with my output, and now I'm going to complete this process, and it gives you a progress indicator, and this progress moves along, and when it's complete, I've got a registered image that I can add to my map canvas. But before I leave, I want to save my ground control points, and I'm saving my ground control points just as a simple name in the same directory, so I could use them again if I needed to go back and do this. So now I'm going to close my georeferencer, and I'm going to add my newly registered raster layer, which is Bigmar 2000, and I'm going to add that. I'm going to zoom to full extent here, and I want to make sure that I've got the roads on top of the image here so that you can see it, and you can see that it lines up quite nicely. Now I can begin my next step, which will be creating an empty shapefile and digitizing this lake, the outline of the lake.